Hello there. I couldn't have helped but notice that you are between the ages of 25 and 44. This isn't a random guess, and also I know that is a long period of time, but it is a very specific and important period of time. It is not necessarily magic to call, 20 or so years, 19 years of space and call you out like that, but ultimately I noticed that 65% of people who watch my videos tend to be in that space. Now, there are folks younger than that. Hello, young ones. Please stay in because maybe you can avoid the problems we made. I noticed 65% of people who watch my videos are between the ages of 25 and 44. Additionally, that many of those are creators, or people who wanted to create, or people who had the heart to create at some point. And I wanted to let you know that it's not too late to start, right? I know it feels weird trying to entertain the space with a whole bunch of people who've been creating since they were little babies, or maybe who had parents who created against their will. But in the case of the latter, at the very least, they don't know how to use Premiere. I think more than anyone, I feel like our generation feels like we wasted our time. I feel as though late Gen Z and early Alpha Gen had the privilege of chasing their dreams, or at least having the confidence to chase them doggedly and without anything holding them back, right? I think late Gen Z and early Gen Alpha are cringe in the best way because they are unashamed to make a difference and make a splash and to have impact. Where we, late millennials and early Gen Z, were a population of people who still trusted that things would work out as long as we listened to people who knew better. I think we believed that going to college and getting any degree would have us set for life and that we would be safe because that's what our previous generations did. And I think it was disillusioning for many of us that the cost of growing up and giving up what we needed to survive, what we needed to stay young and hopeful, in exchange for a world or a setting that was ultimately cruel to us. I think back to the 25-year-old thinker and Dr. K's criticism of that on their channel Healthy Gamer GG. There's this great fantasy that a lot of folk our age have, wherein we no longer exist tomorrow, and we come back as a baby, and we do everything that we would have done had we known what we were getting into. I think we feel cheated. I think cheated is the most accurate word for how our generation feels. We were assured that things would turn out correctly, and when they didn't, we were blamed for it. Why are we so lazy? Why are we so tired and frustrated? Why aren't we giving 110%? What is the point? What is the point in doing that for other people and not ourselves at this rate? Because we've been neglecting ourselves, thinking that we were investing. And a lot of reclamation needs to happen, reclamation of yourself, for us to feel whole again. Let me know if this sounds familiar. At some point in your life, you really loved to draw, or you really loved to sing, or you really loved to dance or act. You were in a couple of small projects which met critical success in your immediate local area, local hometown, or middling to low success on the internet. And you thought, this is something I really love to do for the rest of my life. And then somebody told you that everyone who's on there doing something like that, the likelihood of you going there is near impossible. You need to settle. You need to find something that is practical and do that. And you're allowed to have hobbies, but they should always be second to making yourself happy. And you say, but this thing makes me happy. And they go, no, having a house, having food, having water makes you happy. Having things makes you happy. I think a lot of us grew old that day. And I don't think that we grew old at the ages of, 17 through 20. I think we grew old at the age of 12, 14, when we gave everything up. There's this funny thing. My chat started calling me Hag recently because my sensibilities are so old. I think a lot of us grew old too quickly. But I think there's an appeal, right? I think there's an implicit hope in creating past 25. A project is only a failure when it ends, and you can look at it from the rear view mirror, when you can look at it in retrospect, until it is over, it is not a failure, and you are not a failure. So long as you are alive, so long as you're alive, so long as you're standing, so long as you are fighting, you have the ability to reclaim yourself, steal yourself, heist yourself back from this dogma that penetrated your brain at some point, that convinced you that you couldn't do what you love and be happy and be well at the same time. The thing about artists is that they will find any way to do their art. They will find any way and any excuse to do their art wherever they are, right? And some folks with stronger wills than us pushed past the chatter behind their ears from people who judged them and just did it. And just because we listened to that chatter for too long in our lives doesn't mean we have to keep doing it. It is not too late. It is never too late. Don't surrender. There is still time to be the person you wanted to be. And it might not be as pretty or as perfect in your mind as it is in reality. But surely, wherever that is, it's better than being here. Surely any proximity to being that love of your life, to being that person you wanted to be, is better than having given up and being somebody you're not. Even if you are late, better late than never. Ding ding ding, 10 minutes.